Oh, okay. Clear. I got some stuff to show you. So, I got a request to look into kind of a general setup, an idea, a approach to Jam, and I figured I would show just kind of a comprehensive setup of a few different things, some older synths, some newer synths, all kind of coming together and creating some kind of jam. So let's give it a little look here. I'm gonna head on over to video input, which is currently displaying a video synthesizer, no audio, just video. And I right on over via star wipe, I assume, to full perspective right over here. So up here we have the MS-20 by Korg, lovely, amazing synthesizer. But we're not going to worry about that right now. What I want to draw your attention to is my little Eurorack right over here. It's got all sorts of kind of bits and bobs. So right now it's a very, very easy patch. I actually have some MIDI data, boom, coming into the back of the Eurorack that's being put to this front panel. The note data is coming into these two sound sources here. One of them is a old Roland style digitally controlled oscillator. The other one is a German inspired kind of Kraftwerk oscillator. Both of these are going into a little filter over here. The filter is also a mixer. That's going into a different mixer here just so I can make sure that the levels don't blow anybody's heads off, and that's going out. So there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm actually not using, but for the purposes of this, this is like a pretty easy, good patch to have. I think I just knocked it out of tune hilariously, so we're going to have to compensate for that a little bit. I should also say that everything is running into the Conductive Labs Noodler, which is a sequencer that sends 4 discrete parts to up to 4 different synthesizers, I suppose. So right now, I have it going through a few things. This is one of them, and it creates a pad, a drone, and 2 motifs. So right now, the Eurorack is set to motif number 2, which means 2. If I hit play on the motif, it is going to start playing a little ditty, albeit a little bit out of tune. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to tune up, make sure we're all good. And for reference, I have arbitrarily chosen the key of A flat harmonic minor, just because it sounded like a lot of fun. So here's the Eurorack coming in. In here, now we're in tune. You gotta watch your fingers when you're programming Eurorack, because then you can accidentally knock it out of tune. And you can hear the filter here. That's pretty nice. I'll mute that motif, and I might play around a little bit with this a little later. Let's move on to the MS-20 here. Really good bass and lead sounds in this guy. I'm gonna start. He is plugged into motif number 1, so there's gonna be a slightly different little motif here. If we play them both together, So I've just adjusted some of the footage on here because I want one of these to be kind of like a bass and one of them to be kind of like a rhythm. So this will probably be kind of bassy, and this one will probably be a little more rhythmy. And I'll probably change up the motifs a little bit as time goes on too. But for now, let's take a little transition on this wall. Woo! So right now I have the amazing Juno 106 right up here. And it's got kind of a resonating paddy thing. And lo and behold, it is actually hooked up to the drone. So if I hit play on the drone, the Juno 106 will sound like this. I'm gonna add a fifth to that, maybe an octave. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. So we got a nice little triad here, and then bringing in our other sounds. Lovely. Okay. Underneath the Juno, don't worry about that JD800. It's not a part of this jam, but I do have the Yamaha CS5 from 1978, I want to say. Predates MIDI, I know that for sure, which is why it's actually not hooked up to the Noodler. It is totally standalone, and that's because I like to play little scales or little lead bits when the jams really start kicking off, so that's... just rich and thick and analog, and it's about as 70s as you can get, especially for a mono synth. So monophonic synthesizer, only plays one note at a time. Sounds mwah, chef's kiss. All right, so that's just gonna be a lead bit, so I'll just be playing that. We are in a yes. Last but not least, and this might be the trickiest one to see, I need to get some longer RCA cables when I can afford RCA cables again. Here, this is a different kind of view. In this area, got the Korg Wave State, which is more of a modern synthesizer. Gotta flip around because I'm gonna move my headphones. Woo! And I have so this is a really cool digital synth. It has 4 voices per patch. Right now it sounds really like crazy. It's got a little weird digital artifacting. It's got kind of a rhythm in there. It's still like decaying. So that's set to the pad. So if I hit play on the Noodler here, got a little bit of a rhythmic patch. We got a little bit of all sorts of stuff. You can actually turn voices on and off, so you can hear each of the 4 discrete voices. So voice A is this pad sound. Voice B is kind of our digital icicles. C is kind of like a dub beat, actually, but like very filtered, very strange. And I don't think there's anything on D yet. Well, proving myself wrong. We got some bubbling of the primordial soup on. Together they all. Lovely. Okay. So, let's head on back over to this view here. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna start playing some stuff and bringing in voices, and I'll probably be adjusting things, and I'll try and talk on the fly as I'm adjusting them. But let's start with our drone. Coming from the Juno. Have a sneaky peek back at the Juno. There it is. Powerful, powerful drone. And I'll do some level adjustments on the fly here. It's all kind of going into a line mixer, so I'm mixing off of the keyboards. I'm already noticing is I feel like there could be a little bit more bass. So I'm going to transpose that Korg part down into a bass line. Oh. That's the part. Maybe, maybe I want the pattern to be a bit different. I kind of like that. While we're at it, why don't we change up the Eurorack case? Yeah, I like that. gonna put in some and slide back over here. Whew, yes, it was a Starlight killer. I'm gonna just throw some reverb on the master send here, just to give everything a bit of space. So with no reverb, we'll start it off. There we go. Now we're cooking. Some synthesis because I'm starting to really feel it. Yeah, nice. Now say I want to change this pattern. Maybe I want to take a risk. Maybe I'm just going to randomize it. I have no idea what this might sound like. I'm going to try and blend it in. if it works. Weird elastic band thing happening with it, which I kind of dig. Get back on over here. Yeah. Isolate that pad. Like a tremolo pipe of some kind. Let's just take the bass all the way up. That's neat. I really like the wave state because it has a randomized function and you're never really sure what you're going to get, but usually it gives a lot of texture. I want to get some kind of different sound out of our drone. Head on over to the drone. There you go. There you have it. That's like a pretty easy way to get a jam going using all this cool stuff. Nice little combination of old and new, using the MS-20 and the CS5 and the Juno 106 with a whole bunch of Eurorack stuff and the Wave State. Is pretty terrific. So hopefully that answers some questions, and I'm happy to do more streams where I go into depth. I mean, if we back on over, certainly have no shortage. Looking a little barren, slightly barren. So hopefully that helps out, and thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you again real soon, tomorrow, in fact. But after I come back from work, I will be working tomorrow. Sometime in the evening, play some video games. Thanks so much. Take care.